You're traveling on a trip outside the United States and you got hurt, badly injured, or you got really ill. Is that something people are thinking about as they're planning a trip? No way. You're not thinking about that. A friend of mine was telling me a story about a friend of hers who was in a poor country doing missionary work. And she took a bad fall, was severely injured, and had to be airlifted out of the country and flown to a country with good medical care to provide care. She's okay now, but the bills were unbelievable. Just unbelievable bills. Do you know that most of us are not covered by our health insurance? Or if you're on Medicare, you're usually not covered when you leave the United States to travel elsewhere. And people will ask me all these questions about trip cancellation policies, trip insurance, and they're worried about their deposits they paid, the advance payments, the non-refundable part of the trip, that kind of thing. But very rarely, unless somebody has first-person knowledge of somebody who ended up in a bad way overseas, and it turned out, oops, they had no insurance. This is something that almost nobody takes care of. And we've written about that on Clark.com for years. I want to bring a profile to it here because this is serious stuff. If you're not covered outside the United States, unless you're just rolling in money, if you have to have a medevac out, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. You could end up in a hospital with really expensive bills. And do you know, in a lot of developing countries, if you are in that hospital and it's time for you to be discharged, they will not let you leave if you can't pay your bill. They keep you as a prisoner there until you come up with the money. This isn't a joke. I mean, it's really what happens. So I know there's so much noise in life, so many things we have to take care of, so many details. If you're someone who's lucky enough to get to take a really great trip somewhere else in the world, please, when you're thinking about trip insurance for the tour or whatever, I want you to also see what coverage do you have with health insurance outside the U.S.? What coverage do you have if you need a medevac? And if you find out the answer is none and none, then this is part of your decision-making process on insurance.